Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. As you guys can see up on the screen, today I want to talk a little bit about Sofi Technologies Incorporated. This is ticker symbol SOFI or Sofi. We took a couple of days off, but now we are back, hopefully getting back in the swing and the routine and the grind of posting, videos covering different stocks every weekday. I think is kind of the move because stocks obviously aren't doing too much on the weekends. But today was a very, very good day for Sofi as, of course, being up 4.32%. Yes, we are down 0.71% after hours, but I wouldn't read too much into that. I never really like to make too big of a fuss about the after hours movement. It ultimately, usually by the next day, the next morning comes around, doesn't really mean all that much. But this is a good day, obviously. Breaking above $7 once again after closing at $6.72 yesterday. And we take a look at the broader market. The Dow Jones was up 0.6%. The S&P up 0.95%. NASDAQ up 1.51%. And the Russell was up 1.95%. So a good day for the market overall. A lot of green going on here, but nothing really close to the 4% or over 4% that SoFi was doing. So if you have a day where you're overperforming the markets, especially in such a big way like this, that's going to be great. And you start to string a couple of those days together, a couple of those weeks together, a couple of those months together. That's how you start to get some really, really nice returns, some really, really nice market beating return. So we'll have to see, if this momentum is able to hold up, if we're going to go back down and go lower. Who knows what's going to happen next? But we're going to be talking about all the latest for SoFi, the company, and the stock in this video today. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. And subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Of course, as always, there's not going to be any financial advice in this video. I'm not telling you guys to buy anything, not telling you guys to sell anything, nothing like that. Just going over some news, some posts, some articles, giving my thoughts and opinions. With that being said, let's get right into this. So up first, I thought this article was kind of interesting. I think it's interesting in some ways, but also maybe kind of stupid in some ways too. This is SoFi versus Ally Financial, why one is a Buffett stock and the other isn't. And I think this comparison is kind of interesting because, like they say here, Ally Financial and SoFi are both consumer digital banks that seek to provide a range of services. So kind of at the very, very most basic level, there's a lot of similarities. There are a lot of the same things going on for these two companies. They're both, like it says, these digital banks that want to try to easily get out to a ton of people. They want to remove some overhead by not having physical locations, all these different things. They're offering a whole suite of services. They're trying to get you in and then get you, using their company and their services in like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different ways. And it's really, really cool. And a lot of people do think it is the future. A lot of people think these are two very, very exciting, very growth-oriented kind of fintech stocks and fintech plays in a similar sector doing similar things. The comparisons are quite clear. They are there. Now, where they differ a little bit, and one reason they stay here in the key points is that Ally is focused on the auto lending space, and SoFi is more focused on the student and personal lending space. And then again, why are we even making this comparison in the first place? It's because Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway recently purchased Ally Financial. And I think it's an interesting question, but at the end of the day, I also think it's kind of a stupid question too of like, hey, why did Warren Buffett purchase Ally and not SoFi, or why is he purchasing Ally in the first place? And ultimately, it's really simple. It's really clear. Yes, SoFi has the potential. They have the opportunity to do a lot of cool stuff going forward in the future. They have the opportunity and the potential for a ton of growth. They have a really cool story. It's easy to see where this ceiling is at for SoFi, but also when you're looking at comparing this thing to Ally, the floor is also much, much lower. Yes, SoFi hopes to do some cool things, and maybe we think they can do some cool things, but Ally is doing a lot of cool things right now, and ultimately that is why Buffett is interested. That is the name of the game for Buffett. Ally is a profitable company. They're paying a dividend. They're doing a lot of similar things, and they also have tons of potential for growth and stuff going forward in the future. SoFi is not yet profitable, is not paying a dividend, and is just much riskier. And maybe the risk-reward ratio isn't exactly there. Maybe there is a much bigger chance that SoFi is going to be a flop or not do a lot of these things. And again, when you're thinking in the mind of Buffett, like you have one company that is saying, hey, we think we're going to be able to do this. We should be able to do this. We might be able to do this. And you have another company that's saying, hey, we're doing these things right now. They've already proven that they can do this. They've proven that they can be successful and profitable and pay out a dividend and do all these things. That's a Buffett stock. That's Ally. That's why this makes more sense. Now, if, hey, 2, 3, 5, however many years down the road, SoFi starts doing a lot of these things, if they, are able to show that they can be profitable multiple quarters in a row, multiple years in a row, they start paying a dividend, they start showing consistent growth, they start showing that, yes, this is a successful, sustainable, long-term business model that's going to make you a lot of money, then maybe Buffett will be interested in them. But it just doesn't make sense, especially in somebody like his shoes, where he's, has big chunks of money to throw around. He has so much riding on it, to take a risk on SoFi, even if maybe it's an exciting risk, maybe if it's a risk that seems like it's worthwhile to a lot of people. So at the end of the day, I get it. Buffett, he's great clickbait. He's a great conversation starter for a lot of stuff in the financial markets and the financial world. But I think it's a pretty simple answer to this question. And then on top of that, when they're saying Ally's focused on auto lending, hey, auto lending's been on fire over the past couple of years. And obviously student loan lending has not been so on fire for SoFi. But we also have this, the fact that SoFi has scheduled a 2022 annual meeting of stockholders. This is going to be taking place on July 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific. Be looking out for that. Maybe we'll get some cool news. Maybe we'll get something coming out of that. Who knows? But it's just another kind of day to mark in your calendar. Let's see what happens. We also have this, the fact that SoFi is up to number 37 on the Apple App Store for finance apps, just ahead of Fidelity and Webull. So that is kind of cool and kind of big news that they're actually ahead of Fidelity, ahead of Webull. I think that's a good sign. People are downloading it. People are using SoFi. People, the product's getting out there. Hopefully people are happy with it. We'll have to wait and see how the reviews and everything come in. But hey, moving up the ranks. This is definitely a good sign. Now, obviously, where SoFi wants to be and where they need to be and where they probably should be is sometime in the near future is going to need to be way higher than number 37. But it's a start. Moving up the ranks. Things are going good. Things are pointing in the right direction. It's definitely not a bad sign for SoFi to be getting a lot of downloads in the Apple App Store. We also have this, transactions by the CEO, Anthony Noto. A lot of these I've already covered, over the course of my channel over the past couple of months. Every time Noto's been buying, he's, selling some options. He's acquiring some stocks. He's been buying the dip a ton. Obviously, if you take a look at, what SoFi has done year to date, it's just gone down and down and down and down and down. But hey, we are significantly off some of these highs back here. And if you think it's going up, back up to some of these levels, then yeah, it makes sense to buy a ton of shares down here, which it seems like what Anthony Noto is doing. So recently throughout the month of May, he's acquired 39,000 shares at $6.50. He's acquired 13,000 shares at $7.79-ish. He's acquired 27,000 shares at $7.32. And most recently, this was yesterday, he acquired 37,000, or at least it was released yesterday, that he acquired 37,000 shares at $6.72. So Noto is just buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. And a lot of people say, hey, it doesn't really matter. People say, hey, look at the percentage of his net worth that it is. Hey, he's not even really buying that much. But again, I would rather have my executives, my CEOs, my leadership buying than selling. So overall, I think this is a good sign. I don't think Noto is just trying to throw money away. I think he's buying these because he thinks that these are going to be profitable investments, profitable endeavors going forward into the future. We have this, the fact that On Deck is teaming up with SoFi and LendingTree to provide more options for small businesses seeking funding. Kind of an interesting article on Street Insider. You have to upgrade to Street Insider Premium, so you just get a little free trial here, but this is kind of a cool thing going on that I think, people should look into if they want to find out more. We also have the fact that NerdWallet has SoFi ranked number 1 on the best checking accounts. And this is not surprising to me because the SoFi checking account right now is paying, interest as long as you have direct deposit. That is just an industry leader. There's really nothing like it. I can't remember if it's 1.5% APY. I know it's at least 1% APY, but I know they changed it a little bit too. But anyway, if it's 1% or 1.5 or 1.25 or whatever, it is the industry leader, and really nobody else is really even close at this point. And that's not even for savings account. That's for checking. So that is really, really cool. I think this is an awesome thing that SoFi is doing to actually get more users, get more downloads, get more money, get more people into their ecosystem. And I think it's a great decision. I think it's really, really awesome. And I'm surprised that more companies haven't followed suit yet because it really is a game changer. And then we also have this, one of the bigger stories, the fact that SoFi competitor Common Bond has exited the student loan business and thus ceding their market share. Now, obviously, in the short term, this isn't really going to mean much because student loans aren't getting paid off. People aren't refinancing their student loans right now. But this just means one less big competitor, one less big option going forward in the future, because at some point, student loans are going to start getting paid off again. At some point, student loans are going to get refinanced again. Maybe a lot of them are going to be forgiven. Maybe Biden's going to come through and forgive all student loans or a ton of student loans or whatever. Maybe he's not. Who knows? But either way, it would not mark the end of student loans for good. Student loans are always going to come back. We have kids in college right now. We have high schoolers who are going to be going to college soon. There's going to be student debt out there. And if SoFi, has less competition, there's going to be, less options for other people to go to. And that's going to be overall, I think, a good news for SoFi. In the short term, it kind of shows just how bad the student loan market is, that, people are having to shut down and stuff like that. But still, I think overall it's going to be great news for SoFi, and it's going to hopefully allow them to be bringing in even more revenue and even more money through student loan refinancing. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Let me drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about SOFI. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe, stay up to date on all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.